Hello and welcome. Welcome to Dragon Memoria. Yes, we are here, and don't worry, it's not just Remy. I'm just replacing the cameras because, as you can see, I changed the interface and I forgot to replace the cameras where they're supposed to be. So, where is. Oh, okay, this is Remy, and Remy goes here. And don't worry, Fisher is going to be here. He's just a little bit late because someone got injured last minute and now he's got to babysit someone who's injured. Probably, maybe fighting for their life, but you know, we all have our problems. No, I'm joking. You should never. Oh, come on. The entire thing is just moved like this. Come on, here we go. It's much better. Remy, are you more to the right than usual, or is it that camera that's a bit off center?
Um,
Okay, hold on. It's probably the camera that's slightly off center for some reason. Hold on. We gotta give you a little bit more on this side, and oh, come on. It's so weird how these cameras are working. Sometimes I do not understand. Sometimes I can move them no problem. But see, now I'm trying to adjust audience so that he's in the center and it's moving everyone else up for some reason.
Oh yeah, my body is like caught.
All right. Much better, much better. All right. So, yes, Wednesday. If you're wondering what's happening today, we're doing Dungeons and Dragons. And if you're watching this Wednesday, you're live. If you're watching this Friday, you're not live. It's a rebroadcast. But I'm still there, just in case you want to watch it. Because I've just, for the last 2 weeks, we've had a lot of people watching us. Last week, I think there were 49 people who actually watched us during the entire night. And the rebroadcast had 89 people, and it wasn't a raid. People are interested about the end of our campaign. All right. So, Dungeons and Dragons. If you like the thunderstorm in the background, it's Ambient Mixer. If you like the world map, it's Wonder Draft. If you like the dungeon map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. If you like battle map, if you like the city map, it's Canvas of Kings. And we are slowly, at least I am slowly transitioning within the music. I still only have a few music from my new database, but maybe tonight there's going to be one. I don't know. All right. So, okay, it's not my table. It's Remy. Are you in the middle of an earthquake? Your camera's shaking just a little bit like this. Okay, it's stable for now. Your camera's weird tonight. Have you been mean to your camera? It wants attention, I think.
I believe when you give the camera attention, you love it. Or no, sorry, the camera loves you when you give it attention.
Ah. It's a weird relationship. But, you know, for some people it works.
Like, Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no.
I didn't do anything wrong. All right, so what happened last episode? What happened last episode? 1 minute and 18 seconds. Huge fight. Our party faced a dread pirate. No, not a dread pirate named Robert. Sorry. Armed with dark forces and an elite warrior and a deranged rogue, this enemy came close to forcing our heroes into a corner almost impossible to escape. Fortunately, with a cunning strategy, a bit last minute, but still cunning, they were able to isolate one of their enemy and tip the scale in their favor. And I'm really honest here. I was afraid for our players. If they hadn't figured a way to do this, we might have had to figure out a new party tonight. However, as fate would have it, the fight turned from a team brawl to an endurance duel when one of our adventurers faced its nightmare in a duel that lasted until fatigue started to set in and both combatants ended the battle flailing their exhausted arms at one another. Only once hate... Sorry, that was a weird beginning of a sentence. Only one's hate for one another was the only driving force between the two duelists did the fight end. And who knows, maybe Fisher actually evolved a little bit because he was able to let go of his hate. So... yeah. I was hoping that Fisher would be there. He said 30 minutes.
Sorry, only the devil comes when you call his name.
Okay. It happens.
Well, that and Beetlejuice, but you have to do that 3 times.
Yeah. But I've always been slightly confused by that one. Because sometimes it's 3 times in a row, but you can't say anything in between each time. But there are other times where you can say something. All right. And anyways, I liked the cartoon a lot more than the actual movies. Although the movies work funny. You know, give them that. So, after the last battle, the captain tried to kill you all by having the siegebreaker turn its main artillery toward where you were and fired. But it didn't work. Terry managed to sabotage the whole thing so that the ship would not obliterate you all. Well, now you have a choice to make. Because obviously, that ship, you can't man it all. Man it all. Don't know why there was a D somewhere in there. On your own. Even though you do know about arcane stuff, you're missing a few proficiencies to run a ship properly. Mainly a dedicated engineer. Someone who actually knows what he's doing. you have several options. Within the chaos, immediately when the ship falls, there are some pirates who simply try and leave. They try and loot what they can and they leave. Obviously, the leader has been defeated somehow, and time to steal a 24-inch TV and leave. But some actually want revenge. Some like that life. Some wants to kill those who did this. Which brings an odd dilemma. What do you do
It's
with
like,
that?
could we not?
Well, here's the thing. From your point of view, it's a very one-sided fight. Because the island is not 5,000 people trying to attack you. It would be several hundred at best, and you're in a really good position to create a bottleneck. Which means as long as you can hold that bottleneck, you can just kill and kill and kill and kill and kill until the bodies form a wall and they're stuck digging their way through that piles of corpse. There's all of those piles of corpse to get to you. So
Probably not that many. These guys are pirates. I don't think they keep going after the first few. Like 50 fell.
yeah, probably. At least
Quick, everyone, get behind the pile of dead bods.
so a show of force is easy. You can easily convince them to at least surrender. Joining up is something else. But if that's what you want, I'm not going to oppose it. However, you have different options if you want. You have made quite an impressive booklet of names, we could call it. Address book of everyone you've met. From your perspective, last 6 months. From everyone else's perspective, last 2 years. Now, as this group of people is arriving, and you hear them all rushing toward your position, screaming, wanting for revenge, you can simply try to convince them. Kill a few, convince the rest. You can always also call out to your Corsair friends. You know they're in the vicinity. You've promised them anything they want on the island, with the exception of the siege breaker. So you know they're very close by. And they can probably intervene easily.
Didn't we promise them the siege breaker as well? Just after we finished a few other missions.
Well, the
I
last
could be
person
wrong.
who talked about it was Fisher and says, no, it's ours.
Well, I think it was ours, but we were like, we need help crewing it, and also like,
Yep.
we need it because we need to do this other stuff. But like after we finish all the stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on.
So this is a bit where I was going. Yes, if you turn to your Corsair friend, you did not make that deal last time, but if you ask them to man the ship, it's probably gonna come with some conditions and probably the right to rent your ship whenever they want. So there's always that option. But audience, Remy, Fisher,
Slowly puts eye patch over eye.
you you have encountered a lot of people during your adventures. And because we're a bit pressed for time, I will simply underline this. Yes, you need someone to recover the ship right now, get it out of where it is. But once this is done, you need priests to maintain the engine core. You need artificers to understand how the machine works. You need arcane users to power the barrier and the guns, the ballistas. And you need someone who knows how to fly this ship. Fisher and you can probably fly the ship pretty well. You've spent a considerable amount of time on ships. You have made an artificer friend long ago. Granted, Fisher made sure that this person... Oh, good. Just as we were talking about you, Fisher.
Guys, we might be in trouble. I said the devil comes when you call his name.
Well, I called for Fisher, not André.
Hey guys, his eyes aren't red anymore. You know.
Yeah.
He's probably okay.
Which is
It was
what a
kinda
devil
weird,
would
though,
do
that
when he
his
wants to
eyes-
deceive you.
It's kind of weird that his eyes turned blue right as he murdered the captain and the first mate, and that murder was what caused his eyes to turn blue. But no, I'm kidding.
Don't worry about it.
Well, there's another way of looking at it. Like I said in the introduction of today, you can look at it as though, oh well, you know, he killed the captain and his eyes went blue. Or his eyes went blue when he finally let go of his hatred. Because that's... I don't know if you intentionally did it like this, but finishing your fight in that way kind of works well with what you wanted to do. You let go of your anger. You just looked at him and says, "You're not worth it. Let's go home." Okay. Alright, and now for audience. Where is audience? Audiences. Oh, come on, I really hate it when it does this. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good. Alright, once again, we have everyone. Good. So, yeah. Like I was saying, you do have one artificer friend that, granted, Fisher exiled for 6 months of its life, but he had a good relationship with Audience and Remy, so you probably have an artificer friend who can help you. During the last few weeks, you've made friend with an entire priesthood. Priests of war. Meaning that if you just promise them there'll be a good fight, they'll probably accept manning your ship. So you could have your priest settled. You could, like I said, rely on the crews of your Corsair friend for the rest. Or you've made 2 arcane inclined friends. There's Antasia, who is no longer part of a mage tower, but she knows a lot of mage. And there is Denirsa, the adventurer of the garden, which she is the daughter of an incredibly rich merchant, feared family name. She can probably easily find people to man the ship, arcane inclined people. You can choose one of them if you want, but there are 2 positions on your ship: guns, barrier. You can always suggest one of each. And you've saved a lot of people living in mostly 2 towns toward the northern side of this island. I'm sure you'd be able to recruit able bodies among those to crew your ship. So, how do you want to resolve this issue? Like I said, I could have let you all figure it out on your own, but save 2 episodes.
Definitely the simplest option where we don't have to fight the island right now is just to bring in the Zal and her Corsairs, and then figure it out after that, like who we actually want to man. Because I think everyone else, it would take longer to actually get here.
Yes.
The probably easiest thing to do at this point is to be like, hey, we got the pirate, the ship's down. It's not going to blow up your ships when you come in. Let's secure the island. That's what audience would suggest, at least. And then we can make a larger plan from there. Does that sound good to everyone? Or
I feel like that will end up giving us the least control over it. But at the same time, that fact will also, I think, in the short term, which is mostly where we're looking, that's not really going to matter, because paying with a siege breaker will.
Yeah. Also, we already agreed that we would keep the siege breaker for the next few missions. So.
Yeah. But yeah, in the short term, I don't think it would be any worse, because I feel like, because whether or not they keep it in the long term, right now we don't really care about, as long as they use it.
Come out, secure the island. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you,
There
Remy?
is always the lawful evil option of, it's like, yeah, sure, we'll give it to you when we're done with it. And then at the end of the last mission, we clued everything by crashing it into the ground. Just like, yep, there you go.
We wait till they're all foraging in the wizard tower after we've beat the wizard. Then we sneak back to the siege breaker, blow up the wizard tower and all their ships, and then just leave the island. Yeah, that would be a sudden shift in the campaign tone, but we could do it.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with this. When you said the lawful evil, I thought you were going to say, let's bring in the lawyers.
The lawyers. Yeah.
No,
right.
You only have to bring in the lawyers when they actually take you to court over, air quote, breaking your word.
All right, Zal did give us a messaging thing, so I guess I will go to message Zal after we defeat the... We'll say I do this, we have this brief discussion, then I go to do this right after we've defeated the captain.
All right. So, as this throng of people is trying to make its way toward the ship, several of Zal's ship surround the island and are slowly approaching. There is a brief moment where the defenses of the island are supposed to activate, and instead of having 12 cannons starting firing toward those ship arriving, because you settled the problem of the 2 most prominent ship, but you didn't do anything for the cannons of the island. But because of the disarray, the island is easy to take. Not all of the cannon come to bear. They don't all fire. Zal's forces take minor damage, but in exchange arrive to manage to overtake the defenses, break them, and land. As everyone, all of those people arrive where you all are, wanting revenge for their captain, one after the other, they arrive on... I don't know if you're still on the bridge or if by that time you decided to... I think you had already decided to teleport to the siege breaker to get Terry. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, we did need to go pick up Terry.
So they all go to the wrong ship, and after that, they go to the siege breaker, which is sort of hilarious from your point of view because you're seeing all of those people rush toward the ship. They go inside, and there's this long line of people trying to get in one by one because it's a ship. It's not meant to be boarded by 5,000 people easily. And then suddenly you see people starting coming out of that line and trying to get out of the ship, also one by one, and make their way toward where you are. Because of all that time that they take to do this, Zal's forces easily settle the problem for you. As you see them all arriving, they have this very unpleasant realization that if they want revenge, they're going to have to go inside of the siege breaker, which is no longer floating, fighting someone who managed to kill their leader while being pelted by fireballs coming from ships arriving to where the siege breaker is. So you find yourself in front of probably 100, 150 very demoralized person, unsure of what they're supposed to do, not wanting to die in droves. What do you with that?
Audience would probably offer them a choice, especially if they're just kind of the mill of the castle. He'd be like, as you can see, our forces have taken the island. Your captain, as well as many of the crew and most of your resources, have fallen. The choice is before you. You can either all die fighting for a cause, you know, I'm not really sure how much you believed in, or you can keep living to potentially join our forces or simply leave and be able to make a profit elsewhere. But to do so, you must lay down your weapons now. And I will give a persuasion on that. Persuasion. 27.
Natural 20. Oh, okay. Because you kept rolling below 10 during the fight.
Nope, just a 27.
Okay. You know, like I keep saying, a rather below average superhuman roll. So 27 is enough to convince a lot of people. A lot of people just look at you and then look at the ships and look at their comrades. You see that you broke a lot of people. Some people are ambivalent, not because they wonder not because they think they can actually take you on, more like, yeah, you're giving us the choice, join us or die. How is that different? But there is a small group of people who actually voices that. you recognize them. They're not that many people. And you've seen crowds, especially you, audience. You're more used to talking to crowds than the rest of the group. You recognize them. That little handful of people who actually think they can sway the group to be a problem for you. And you have this one person that comes forward. A dwarf. You did not expect that. The pirate dwarf is almost a contradiction on itself. They don't like water. Looks at you and says, "Yeah. So basically, join us or die. How's that better?"
I didn't say join us or die. I also said you could leave. You just won't be able to leave with any possessions.
And what kind of assurance are we gonna get from you? Because there are kind of a lot of ballistas aimed at us right now. If a group of people starts leaving, they're gonna be easy to
I'm in contact with the captains of the other ship. They'll listen to me if I say to let you go if you leave all your possessions here. They only care about the valuables. They don't care about your lives.
And that's not something that's gonna help us be confident that we can actually get out of here if they don't care about us.
I think you should be more confident. It means that they don't think on an emotional side. They simply think about value, and your lives have no value to them.
All of this is very interesting, but they're over there and they're gonna take some time to start firing. And you're right there. There's 4 of you.
The audience, Rami will put forth an idea in the link that I'm assuming is still up. It's like you'll see the image of, well, the face varies as it's in your mind, but it's like the face of one of us that is moving with the rest of them.
Faces moving.
They're asking for assurance. So the best assurance you can offer is
Enough for it.
To give them a hostage. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think audience cares. He's like, they've lost. I don't need to give them anything. He's like, I'm giving them a chance for them to live. I don't know why they wouldn't take it.
well, again, what they're saying is that they have no guarantee that you're actually keeping your word, and they just die anyway.
They're wondering
being
if
here,
they might as well try and take us out now.
So that's why I'm saying that if you say, like, offer an individual to move along with the group, it's like then they might have more confidence in those who choosing to leave because they figure that probably you won't bomb one of your own.
Yeah, but I don't really want to give them a hostage. Or someone that could use as a hostage to get more.
it's a good thing.
Like any one of us can be hostages.
It's a good thing that Orunak is not part of this link, because he wouldn't. He'd feel obligated to say, oh, "All right, I'm gonna go."
I'm just saying that there's basically nothing they can do to Raimi to keep him in location.
It is true.
But
It is true. Very well. I guess if you put that forward, audience will be like, very well, if you're worried about them firing on you as you leave, we'll send one of our party at a safe distance with you. so that you feel as if they fired, it would kill one of our own, and then you don't have to worry.
Can roll a persuasion with that.
23.
It's a very, very mediocre superhuman roll, but still. A lot of people underestimate what 20 means.
It's the number after 19, but
Yeah.
before 21.
Exactly. So, looks at you for a brief moment. He had one hand raised in the air as he was trying to imply that if they took you all out, that would solve the problem. But Sir goes back on that one. Well, you know, that could be reasonable. And who among yourselves would volunteer for this risky business?
I mean, it would be Rami or Fisher, because both of them can get out if they want to. Not that I think they're going to fire.
Oh, hold on. We could totally elevate this. It's like Raimi will say in your voice, "From this day forward, you shall be known as Captain Raimi," giving them no context.
Oh, that's going to be a confusion.
Hey, they'll think that they have somebody high positioned.
Yeah, that's exactly what they think. Some of them are just completely baffled and confused. That's from really, really low rolls. But the majority of them just look at one another and go, "Captain, huh? Captain, yeah, Captain."
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
You even hear one say, "And he could take us to his ship. That way we got a person and a ship." Okay. That's an interesting way to make sure. So, Remy, something happens that up until the day you met Audience was probably a fantasy of yours. You are surrounded by large pirates.
Just like slowly, once again, eye patch over eye, arming sword at the hip, cloak billowing in the wind.
You just cast the spell. Billowing in the wind. There's no wind, damn it. Gust of wind. Okay. It works reasonably well. You find yourself escorting I'd say a good 150 pirates toward a ship that's in the docks or a ship from Zal's teams? Or, your fictional ship. It's a good image. Captain Sparrow with the cat. You do have a cat, it's just the wrong color cat. So, where did you take them? To one of their ship? To one of Zal's ship? Or you just make them walk around on the island for 2 hours and just keep telling them we're almost there?
Uh, I guess what would be preferable there? I mean,
Either one of their transports or one of Zal's ships, and then we just essentially give them a ride to the mainland and then drop them off.
The ship you came in is a pretty large cargo ship. Minimal weapons, minimal protections. Really meant for hauling a lot of treasure fast.
I mean, that's technically what this whole thing with people are, right? It's like instead of treasure, we're hauling people. And people are our treasures, therefore.
Yeah.
The real treasure is the prisoners you took along the way. Wait.
Wait, no, let's try one more time. The real treasure are the friends you killed along the way. Wait, no, that's not right either.
Wait,
All right. So you take them back to the cargo ship while Zal's force land and start taking the key locations. She does ask you what you want her to do with those fleeing pirates on the ship. She just take a moment and says, isn't... She's about to say something and short, dark, and handsome? Referring to Remy. Isn't short, dark, and handsome part of your team? Or did he just adopt the life of a pirate?
No, he was. It was the insurance that we gave them,
No,
and we
yes.
sent him with them so that because we know that if he wanted to, he could easily just disappear, and it would not. They couldn't stop him.
She looks at Remy as he's walking away. Yes, the little black lie. Well, do we wait for them all to be on board the ship and blow them to the bottom of the ocean? Or do you intend on keeping your word and let them leave?
I mean, they don't seem like a threat to me. We took all their weapons and items and ships. They're leaving on basically an ungunned barge. I don't think they're going to be able to do much.
If it was always so. Some of them will most likely keep a grudge. Hatred can push someone to do a lot of things. For example, surviving a horrible situation, finding their way to the means to start their life, and eventually come back and kill you. But if you're comfortable with that possibility, if you think that future audience will be better equipped to deal with such a thing, that's really up to you.
Audience looks at the bunch of pirates as he leaves. He just goes, I think unfortunately most of them would need more than one lifetime to be able to come back to actually pose any threat to us.
Well then, alright. They may leave if they want. Now, for the other ships, you did say that we could keep everything we wanted on the island.
I did.
You know, it's always nice not having to build your ship. Having a few interesting ship added to your fleet is always good.
It is.
And what about this?
I see they're taking the Roman approach. Like, why build it when we can steal it?
It's true.
Well, you know, it's a few, maybe a dozen or so ship that are salvageable from all of this. I mean, granted, she has access to someone who can muster several hundred ships, but 12 ship on her personal fleet?
Not a bad haul.
Yeah. And what about this wreck? And she points at the deck you're standing on right now, which is one of the deck of the siege breaker.
It's still a siege breaker, and will be most useful when we can get it repaired, which we should be able to do before our next mission in our upcoming missions. So we're gonna hang on to it for a bit. We're probably also most likely gonna use this island as now that we've taken over, as a staging ground to assault the main island of the hunter cult in the coming weeks. But once we wipe them out, this part of the sea should be probably fully under your control.
For a time, anyway. I'm sure other pirates will try and take this place, but, you know, now we have 12 ships defending the seas of this island chain. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. She turns around and signals someone. You see a gnome arriving. And this person that keeps trying to sell viewers is starting to run out of 2 letters to add at the end of their name. They're starting with 4 letters now. Resounding injuncture is not the first time that I banned them, but the first time it was just the name. Now it's L7IXA added at the end. Persistent. Alright. You see the gnome arriving, and he starts evaluating the ship. It takes a little bit of time. You're forced to wander about, bored out of your mind. You have a few minutes if you want to talk to Fisher. He's obviously slightly traumatized. You know, there was a moment where it felt like there was no one home a few minutes ago. So, but if you have nothing to say to Fisher, The gnome will go through the entire ship. You will try and estimate the damage, and after a few hours, he does come back and tells you everything that needs to happen with the ship. So, after his long evaluation, he does bring back Terry with him. Says that he found him inside of a small compartment near the core of the ship. Says it looks weird, so it's probably one of yours. Tells you that the ship is salvageable. As a matter of fact, he only needs maybe 2 or 3 days to get the ship flying again. And if you can find a decent crew, you can probably make use of it for your next adventure. And he says it in a way of, next adventure, whatever. The main artillery, however, is going to take a lot longer to repair. So for your next endeavor, you will not be able to use the main artillery unless you are willing to wait 3 weeks. Now he can probably push that down to 2 weeks if he hires a few more workers. But as he understands, you need this for the end of the week at most. So you won't be able to finish repairing it. But he's heard rumors that you're preparing for a long voyage. And if it's true, then he can probably finish repairing the siege artillery during that long voyage. So the ship should be ready by the time you arrive.
That's fine. I'll say we don't need it as much for the assault on the hunter cult as much as we'll need it for later.
With what you gathered from the little bit of intelligence that you managed to get, the island where the hunter cult is relied on this island for protection.
Mm-hmm.
The siege breaker, if it reorients its main weapon toward the island, can probably reach it. You can barely see it from where it is, but this thing is a siege breaker. It can fire an extreme distance. It's just not going to be accurate. But, when you're trying to raid an island, if suddenly the sky starts spitting out explosive, which can level small buildings in a single shot, it's very demoralizing. So it relied on the island for its protection, which means that they're probably going to visit soon enough and realize that they no longer have their protection. So
yeah. Well, Adi was honestly thinking that, and he'd probably tell the others this, that now we have this island, we should just go put a quest up on the garden and try and gather as many adventures as we can for kind of a final assault and get that set up, since there's really nothing stopping us from doing it now.
No. You definitely have ample time, and you even have a few days. So if you want, you will be able to settle that thing with your nemesis.
Yeah. At least get some answers. Okay. I guess I would ask Zal if she's willing to stay at the island with the ships for a few days while we set up the assault so it's not retaken in our absence.
She looks at you and says, "Ah, you're going back to your habit of being noble number 3. Of course I have to stay here. I have to stay here until this magnificent prize can fly on its own again."
Very well. We will return shortly, probably with more adventures.
Very well. You know exactly where we are. Now, let's see what this new vacation home looks like. And she starts walking away.
All right. Fisher, do you still got a charge of the teleport helm left or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe I have 1 left.
Okay. Then we can use that to get back to the garden.
Is that right? I either have
Catch
1
you
or
guys later.
no, we need to wait for me to go back.
Well, the easiest thing to do would be to teleport back to the garden, because once there you can use their network of portals. So
Yeah. And also, we got to put up the quest and put out a notice to basically all adventurers that it's time for the final assault for whoever wishes to join that.
Mm-hmm.
all adventurers.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wishes to join. So technically, every
Calling
adventure,
all warm bodies.
I think every adventure in the garden has almost been involved in some way with the hunter cult in one of the assaults.
Oh,
So-
yeah. I'm just saying, there's one person in particular that if you bring with you, the moment that the assault is done on the island, he's gonna go try and go and kill Fisher.
I thought we agreed with him to do a duel later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying, as soon
He's
as...
gonna duel with Fisher once the quest is done.
Audience is gonna still just put it out to all adventurers because
Yeah.
honestly, it would be weird. It's the easiest way to put the quest out.
Okay. So, you use one charge of the helm of teleportation, and you teleport back to one of the portal on the island chain. Takes only a few moments, and you're back inside of the garden. The garden is not too quiet. You do meet a lot of people. A lot of them are inside of the tavern. There seemed to be some sort of small celebration. Someone finished a quest, apparently, and they're paying a round for everyone. It's kind of odd, because when you turn around and look at who's paying, for a brief moment what you see is a person wearing a black cloak. It doesn't take too long before you realize who it is in the garden. Not someone you've talked a lot to. Let's see. And their name is actually... Paulness. It's a human ranger. You've seen him on several occasions. But you never stop to talk to him. This evening, he's the one that gathered everyone inside of the tavern. There is something about this that feels fortuitous. And in a way, fits with the theme. For some reason, there's always someone wearing a black cloak helping you. Apparently, it was destined to be. There's merriment, singing, telling stories. Apparently, there's been a little increase in activity from the hunter cult. They've been attacking several village on the island chain, trying to steal people. And Palnus realized the pattern and organized this sortie with a lot of people to go mess with them. It sort of creates an uncomfortable yet perfectly timed opportunity. After messing with the hunter cult this much, retaliation is inevitable. Something inside of you makes you think that retaliation had already started. You have been followed several times in the past few days. So, attacking them before they fully mount an attack of some sort kind of feel called for. So, when you put up the quest on the board, it doesn't take long before some people start volunteering. Start saying that, all right, time to finish this once and for all. They've been a thorn on this island chain for a while. There's something that feels epic about attacking this island. Group of adventurers, and of course the bard starts. I want to say selling the bearskin before they actually hunted it.
Mm-hmm.
They start singing the beginning of this glorious quest. They would have liked for the most powerful members of the garden to be there, but as always, they're busy somewhere else. The instabilities around the island are getting worse. Something is coming. Now, even more people feel it.
Instability as in the like portal
Yeah.
realm instability.
The cracks, the monsters manifesting themselves through it. There's more and more. There's something that feels out of proportion with the quantity of it. If it was just a natural phenomenon, there wouldn't be so many elemental creatures, so many strange creatures making their way in. It's as if some thing is broadcasting its desire to enter inside of here. And it's bringing monsters. It's bringing aberrations, atrocities, trying to get in, trying to take advantage of this breach that is about to happen. So, the most powerful ones are not here right now. They're doing their best to keep everything together. They keep killing monsters after monsters, of which you have to say, oh, wow, come on. You mean there actually is a monster the size of a small island? Who's doing that quest? Of course. Core is leading that quest. But the rest, oh, the rest are very eager to help you. You get names that you don't often get. Palnas, for one, seems to be very eager to help you. Demis and Lucen. You're not sure if it's just because they're very introverted or they actually don't like you. Hard to say, but they seem interested by the quest. Dathran is joining one of the bards. Siaraf and, of course, why won't the name come out? Yes, exactly. Are joining the team as well. Kudaon and Kaizin are happy to join. Gamtesh, during the evening, walks by your table, looks at Remy, just says, this is going to be an interesting practice run. If things work well, there may be something more to do. And I think you're going to like this. Because, my friend, there's someone you know waiting for you in there. Let's call him a failed mage. Someone with limited talent that relied a little bit too much on the talents of others. And if you want to make sure that your friends follow you, I've heard that Mr. Shiny over there, and he points toward the audience, is looking for a perfect geode.
I am, yes.
It just so happens that a perfect geode was purchased a week ago by this failed mage.
Interesting.
And on top of that, and now he just narrows his eyes and looks at you, Remy, and gives a brief glance toward Fisher, but mainly you, Remy. You know what happens to people who try to dabble with magical objects that don't actually have a gift? They end up alone, having to rely on their own wits, their own limited wits, to protect themselves. Which means that this will be a challenge of wits, followed by an execution. I believe this is exactly what you like, isn't it, Remy?
So this isn't an actual thought because he's never seen it, but humor me for a moment as Raimi has taken on the visage of a seraphim, only his wings are made entirely of daggers.
That's pretty dope.
I mean, you have 1,000 years of images and people talking. It's a drawing. A very talented teenager that wanted to become a bard and had this aspiration of becoming a bard that brings pictures to life. But you suspect that it's just a teenager who drew a very sexy angel with daggers for feathers on her wings, and he just wanted to figure a way to bring that to life. It works.
Raimi, god of trickery and god of edgelord revenge.
So, my little nimble friend, if you survive this next challenge of getting, or rather giving, to the hunters what they deserve, come back and meet me here in the tavern. I'm sure we can arrange something to get you at the gate of this impotent user.
His balls don't work.
More like his wand, but it's okay. People keep gathering throughout the next day or so. One who would very much like to be part of this, but unfortunately can't. But not for a bad reason. Audience, Tasul comes to you during that next day. And he says, a very interesting challenge. Taking on the cult. And if you are unsuccessful in preventing them from achieving their goal, taking on an avatar. Quite honestly, a challenge that I envy a little bit. But it has been brought to my attention that you are planning to siege a mage tower far to the north.
Yes, we're the same area where you once got
Yes.
brought under the water.
I read the reports that you gave in. There are communities of Neftans there.
Yes, we met with them last time.
If you give me your mean to contact them, I believe I can convince them to join our effort by the time you arrive.
All right. I would tell him what he told me of how to contact them at the base of the mountain.
Unfortunately, to do this, I need to leave immediately.
I understand. I'll wish you luck. Hopefully we will both be successful in our missions and be able to meet again on the island.
On the battlefield. Yes. Quite an interesting challenge, attacking a tower in which a mage has been fortifying its positions for longer than the lifespan of a human allows.
That's why we're bringing a siege breaker. It's the only thing that I could possibly think of that could get us close enough to at least maybe get people to infiltrate the tower itself.
Since I will be arriving before you, is there anything else you would like me to do when I arrive?
We have some friends over there. If you could help keep them safe once you've secured the odds of the Nafton, be most helpful. And audience will tell him about the group, Sachet and Fisher's family. If you can figure out a way to contact or find them, the Nafton I think have been tracking them somewhat, so they might know their location. Tell them that. I mean, I'll tell Sachet over message that you're on your way, so she'll have her eyes out for you. That would be most helpful.
Very well. And when I can, most likely once I arrive, I will warn Calm to join us.
Yes.
I am sure.
And watch out for Civ. He's not how he's under the control of the wizard now, and even for you, I think would be a quite dangerous foe to face one-on-one.
Do not worry. I am not one to attack people head on, unless they are not living.
And I don't see constructs as living, so.
Yeah. Just turns, stabs Fisher in the face, Matt, and sends it down.
Well, you know, Fisher finished its arc. It's okay. He can leave. Alright. With this, the soul leaves. And you have a full day left ahead of you before everything is ready to attack. Which means you have business outside of the garden.
Yep.
Someone's been looking for you for 2 days, which means that she's probably pissed on top of that.
Audience would, before this, go drop off both the shields he got, and he would ask what it would cost and what it would take to combine the enchantment of the automated shield on the scale of Rakshan. That would be the only thing he would do in garden wise to see if he could get it ready for getting to that.
Well, honestly, the polymerization card is a pretty cheap one.
Yeah, basically to take the enchantment off of the shield, which we would have the value. We already have the enchantment, so I assume the price would be lower. And then also the other, and then just adding it onto the other shield. And he would go and ask about it.
Did I set a rarity for the scale of the Rakshan?
Purple. They're both purple.
Very rare.
Very rare. D&D Beyond is purple, yes. Very rare.
No. I think that ever since World of Warcraft adopted that, everyone else did. They didn't invent it, but they're certainly the one that commercialized it everywhere.
Blues. Everyone now thinks of blue as rare. Purple
There
very
does seem to
rare.
be a very,
Golden legendary.
like, it's green, blue, purple, orange, or gold.
Yeah, orange or
Seems to be
gold,
a very
and then usually red above that if they have something, which
Yeah.
is like, red is like a myth. Yeah.
I mean, in which case that has some global implications because it's there's like a couple of games I play that use that same color system, roughly.
No, I know that's why I mean I think that the first
That's what I was
one.
saying. I was saying I feel like that's a pretty universal rarity system at this point.
I think that the first ones to use this color coding was I'm not sure. I want to say a Korean game. But World of Warcraft is the one that made everyone aware of that color coding.
Regardless, I support any system that puts orange at the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. You know, and depending on the system, it's either orange or blonde.
I can accept orange. I can accept gold. If somebody starts calling it yellow, then I murder them.
How about golden yellow? Oh, gray. This gray area.
It's like not according to their hex codes, motherfucker.
All right, so very rare. Scale of Erection, you've had this for a long while. So here's the big question. Do you want to put the scale of the Erection? No, the animated shield on the scale. That's the easiest way. Because you got to keep the properties of the scale. All right. So in that case, the most expensive one is the one that is sacrificed, and so I'd say they'd ask for 10,000 gold to do this. However,
They'd ask for 10,000, but their new employee can't do math.
How much does a half plate? How much does a half plate?
I was
A
gonna
plus three
say-
half plate sell for? By the way, because we're gonna
Well,
sell.
that's gonna be up to him because they are +3 armor is legendary,
Yep.
and
so
we have
for your new shield, it's gonna take 1,600 hours to make it. So quest on the board to get something that allows you to shorten that.
Yeah. What would it take to get it down to? We want it in a couple days. Would I need? 40,
We need to
Well-
48 hours.
ask a similar question for how do I put the Vorpal
Yeah.
onto
How much is it gonna cost to get this thing down to like 4?
All right, so it's 1,600 hours.
still a stagnant shard for them to work in is the answer.
Yeah. So that's if there's only one person. And that's 10,000.
Yeah.
So
Which
if you're willing
this is
to
a
add
shield, so I could probably get up to like 5.
if you're willing to add a 0 to that, so 100,000 to pay, you can remove 1 0 from the 1,600 hours down to
60 hours.
60 hours. If you want to put up a quest on the quest board, I'd be inclined to remove another 0 from that, meaning that it could be ready in a single day, maybe 2. Once the other person comes back, but it's a dangerous task.
How much gold would they realistically also want for doing this? Or items in terms of value of gold, but it's easier just to do gold. So I can.
Didn't I put a price on these? On the shards.
28 hours. And we're providing the shard. If we provide the shard and offer... Because we have, I think, a
We
bunch
don't.
of...
We don't.
Oh, no, we don't have a... Yeah.
We don't have a. We definitely don't have a shard.
We don't have a shard, no.
A shard
Yeah.
is a lot. We've only ever had pebbles of things.
Yeah, we have pub. Well, no, technically we still have a nature shard.
Well, that's not strictly true either. Like, I've been holding on to a sliver for quite some time. I've just never had occasion to use it.
Well, then we still have the nature shard that Jorg got stuck in for a while that we were holding on to. He got out.
Well, he wasn't stuck in the shard. You just used the shard to open a gate toward the nature realm.
I got yanked.
Flashmite. There we go. I think this is where I wrote down there. Whew.
Fisher, what's your HP right now? Max HP?
137.
All shard are extremely rare and usually won't be exchanged for gold. But however, you're paying someone to go inside there, so going inside of there to get a shard, a full shard. I'd say if you're willing to pay someone 100,000 gold, you might have a shard within the next few days. By the time you come back from that assault.
Okay. So that's 200,000 gold to do this whole thing in total, basically.
Yeah, if you're willing and able to pay that, then it would technically take between 3 and 4 days for you to get your shield.
Okay.
Well, if we
And then how much
if
can
we
we
get
sell the half plates for?
if we get a shard, we
Mhm.
shouldn't need the extra to pay for the extra time to make it. Correct?
Depends on how you
Oh.
want to reduce that. Like I said, by hiring more people to work on the object, you reduce the time, because the time that I give you and the money, the price that I give you is the price for a single person to work on it.
I think he was saying that we need the 200,000 to get both because it would multiply. We need both to get it done within 48 hours or within the 2 days if we were to have it for the hunter. We could wait longer if we just wanted for like the tower, but like if we want it for the hunter cult assault, that would need to be like the 200,000.
Yeah, and it's...
Well, it sounds like we're not going to get the shard in time for the hunter cult anyway, so we won't.
Well,
no,
it's
he
a
said
risk.
2 days.
It's
Well,
a
he said
risk.
2 days.
Yeah.
And technically we can wait
No.
like 3 or 4
Yes,
days.
technically you can wait. Here's the thing. You know that there are days away, possibly a week away from trying to summon the avatar fully. You know that the avatar has already been summoned, but it's not fully energized. So you're not exactly sure how they're planning to use the avatar to bring the god there. But it is apparently their plan. So, you know that within a few days they would learn that the island is no longer protecting them. So anything beyond 3 days in total, you risk losing your element of surprise.
So we'd potentially only be a day over what we know that it wouldn't be fully farmed because it wouldn't be less than a week, but we'd potentially lose some element of surprise if we waited for items. But we'd also technically be stronger, so
you'd be stronger, but you can't be sure also. You might arrive there and having lost the element of surprise and the avatar already having been fully summoned. You don't know. That's the thing. Yes, you will be stronger if you do this, but there is a risk.
Mm-hmm. I guess the question really comes down to, since we don't have enough money for this anyway, how much are these half plate +3?
How about we go on to break and then figure out how much liquidated stuff that we have before we even...
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair, yeah.
All right. No problem.
Because there's probably a number of things that we need to all sell anyway.
Yeah.
So, still going to use the Mars sound just so that people know something is happening, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello, we're back. All right, heavy discussion on prices, on what is going to be sold, what is not going to be sold, and well, you still have to go through it. Sorry. No. So
I will say, since we are back, it's like I think it might be more worth our while to just convert the half plates into armors that we want, and then in exchange, I'll help finance the necessary gold to help fund your stuff, whatever we don't get, whatever's left over from the selling of everything else.
Yeah. Well, I think we take out one of those half plates and just Fisher minuses like 500. I think he can afford that and just gets a full plate +3. Because that.
Well, yeah, I think Remy's saying we trade 2 of the half plates for a full plate +3 and a stud leather +3, and then
and a studded leather +3.
Yeah.
And then we can still sell, the studded leather +2 that I have and the plate 2 that he has.
Yeah.
Got it.
And the third half, or no, there's only 2 half plates.
There are only 2 half plates. We did not get the full plate from the priestess.
The priestess flew away.
She
Did
flew away.
the assassin have armor?
that's what I'm looking at.
I don't think he gave him one. Unless it
Because I was going to say, because we might
His
not
armor wasn't on the list, so
assume he
not on
did,
the
but
list.
it wasn't on the list, yeah.
It was not
Pirate Assassin. Studded leather +3.
Oh.
oh.
Well, that,
Well, fuck it, just change one of them.
yeah, then we do just have a half plate. Remy donned that and we just didn't notice because he was so sneaky about it.
It's like, no, he was so sneaky that even he didn't know he did it.
Yeah, even he didn't realize it. It's so
His hands
natural
moved
to
so
him. It
fast.
just
His hands
happens.
moved so fast, his mind couldn't even keep up.
He was there in front of the store owner and he was making images of a studded leather armor, and you just signaling that you want to take disenchantment to do it, and you see the store owner just looking at you. And, why do you want to wear
Like the one you're
two
wearing?
studded leather armors? And you just see Remy go, oh.
Like, life is very bulky. We keep going places that are really cold.
This is the price, so most of the stuff is price we could find, right? Well, it depends on what our DM. But isn't there a set price for legendary items? And
No, there's no set price for anything.
50,000 and up. It's all they say.
50,000 and up. Okay.
But this is why I say it's kind of. It would be my style to say either 55,000 or 60,000.
Well, that's what I was also thinking. If we have the half plate, we could just switch the half plate in for visibility cloak. I mean, you'd have to go get it, but that would be equal value.
Yeah.
If you want that, Remy, since we have the extra half.
I mean, no, I still want to go pick it up. That was one of the things I was like trying to save my gold for.
But I'm saying we could just interchange the half plate for the.
Because they're of the same. Well, technically, the half plate is a used one, but I was
You want
thinking.
to have Remy spend like an extra 500 or something, like Fisher is? Probably do that.
I was gonna say, the half plate is used. You can't remove half of the price of the enchantment, but you can remove half the price of the half plate. So technically,
I mean, even in my own games, just like when people were like selling like magic items, just like 75% of what the normal price would be. It's like because they're still looking to gain a profit.
Yeah.
so yeah, if you want to exchange this half plate +3 for the cloak of invisibility, the store owner would still ask you for 350 gold.
Remy,
Oh
you
no,
willing
wherever am I going to find?
you willing to spend that one?
It's like, hold on, let me step outside in the Nobles District for a couple seconds. I don't know,
Hey,
will this
turn around real
5,000 gold diamond work? I'm joking, but
Don't check your register for
Yeah.
that gold. But
Okay, so if we're taking that off the
okay, I've updated the list.
okay, and we're saying Remy now has an invisibility cloak, and Fisher now has +3 full plate. Good job, guys.
You're gonna need
we
it. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, then we have the rest of them. So we have basically all this very rare.
See, this is where you should be worried. When the dungeon master lets you completely overpower yourselves.
I want to be grabbing this stuff if I wasn't sure that it was going to have to be used.
Yeah.
All right. So, with your shopping done and having to sell everything you can to fund the expedition into a time-related shard. That's gonna be fun. No, wrong book.
Oh, I don't need to save my money anymore, Geode, because we have a way to get one now. So like,
Yeah, actually,
kind of.
DM,
Yes.
it's like since this has come up,
Yes.
because I have 2 items that occupy the cloak slot. No, it's not what you think, because a recent item gave me an idea, and I want to see if you want to roll with it.
Okay.
What if I moved the invisibility from the cloak of invisibility, and I moved it to the eye patch?
Yeah, sure.
So that basically putting the eye patch over his eye is kind of like, okay, you can't see me now because I can't see you.
That's actually pretty.
I know it's stupid.
You're only invisible. visible from the side that the eye patch is on.
It becomes an eye patch of invisibility.
And if you want an eye patch of greater invisibility, you have to put 2 eye patch. Yeah, sure, why not? I don't mind. It's just changing the shape of the object. Yeah, that's okay.
I just didn't know if it was like, because if I need to put like a valuable gem in there, I will, because there's already a gem incorporated in the eye patch anyway. Because normally you like say it has to be like enchantable.
Yeah.
So, but I figure that maybe with any number of the gems that I have, at least one of them can probably hold on to that enchantment.
Yeah, the higher the price of the gem, the more likely it is going to be able to hold an enchantment. So tell me what gem you're willing to use for this, and I will tell you if it succeeded or not.
Where did I put my? Oh, it's down here, right? Wait, no, that's not it. I have too many. I mean, I'm glad that we don't use paper and pencil because trying to navigate this inventory would be a nightmare to do on paper.
What do you mean? It's the best way to do it. This is why your sheets start resembling this. Torn here, erased through on this side.
Oh wait. Well, actually, well, funny enough, because you said the sapphire eye patch is 2,000. There's that. I also have a. We argued over how to pronounce this, like a jacinth that's worth 5,000.
Okay. All right. Let's see. How does that work? Where's... Okay, it's relatively small, so that's... Come on.
Oh, it's even orange. Like I needed more reason.
Okay. Okay. It's... $5,000 and you're using in this... Okay. This shop owner tells you it is doable. It is quite easily doable. The chance of failure is minimal. Marginal, he would say, even.
Which is why he's going to give him Fisher's coin of good luck. But doesn't. I'm kidding. If Fisher were doing this, maybe I'd be worried.
Hey, there's a reason I took that fee.
No, there's a reason why I gave you that coin.
Yeah.
And you've been using it for years now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. No problem. The enchantment itself is not that high. 5,000 gold gem, I think, would easily be able to withstand the enchantment. I wondered why a cloak
what
of
is the service
invisibility
cost?
is legendary. Um, Putting
you
everything
can-
together, you got the enchantment, you got the material. All you have to do is put it all together. I'd say he's gonna do it for 500 gold.
Okie doke.
The cloak is legendary because it's concentration-less invisibility that doesn't break when you
Oh.
attack.
The one that's actually confusing is actually the ring of invisibility, because it sucks for its rarity.
Mhm.
Right.
But yeah, that is right. So that's taken care of. Um,
Yeah. So now it's just really the switching of the Vorpal enchantment and the animated shield enchantment. But that we
Which what you gave, um, like I said, audience from the moment that they come back, it can be done in 2 days. And for Fisher, however, you are doing something much bigger that is worth a lot more.
The number, if you want the numbers you gave me initially,
Yeah, 8,000 gold.
you
So,
said
yeah, go ahead.
you said probably something like 30,000 gold for 8,000 hours,
Yes.
which could be split to 300 for 800 hours.
Yes, so that's just hiring someone else to more people to do the work. If you want to add on top of that going into a shard, just like for audience, if you're willing to pay the same additional price as audience, I am willing to remove another 0 from that, which would take it down to um,
80.
80 hours, which means you get it for going up north. I don't know how useful all of this is going to be at the end like this, but I mean, why not? You're gonna be attacking a huge tower with troops and ships. How discreet exactly do you think you're gonna need to be?
I think it's more for when we go inside the and
Yeah.
have to fight the things in there that most of this is for, more than the assault.
So
real-
basically, you're hoping that by paying a whole lot, I will let you skip a whole bunch of difficult fight. Got it. Got it.
The real question is, for your audience is different because he's not using his shields right now. Would I need to give up my sword for going to the fight the hunter cult? If it was going to be worked on like this.
Yes, they will
Alright.
absolutely need both weapon to work on it. Yeah.
In that case, I can't do that. That's not worth it.
But the trip to the Northern Isles is going to take several weeks, so it's possible to arrange magical
For that to
delivery.
happen.
Yeah, you could still do it for going north. It would
Yeah.
just be you just start the process after.
Uh-huh.
Which, to be fair, we'll probably find more stuff to get us more money if we need to.
Uh-huh.
On the next.
Another question.
Yep.
What kind of going a different route here instead of combining them,
Okay.
but still kind of being able to use them both? Could I have the staff that was then turned into a sword turned into like a wand?
You want a wand of power now?
Well, very specifically, because I can put a wand in my wand sheath.
I know where he was going with it already.
I got
use
you.
it at the
Yeah.
same time as my
And then just use the
Maul,
Vorpal as your
revorpal
weapon.
ball.
Okay. So the staff of power. Okay, so basically you just want to switch. You want to have the Vorpal characteristic transferred to your weapon and the of power characteristic from your weapon transferred into a wand. Is that it?
Well, I mean, if I got the of power part into a wand, I wouldn't. I would just use the Vorpal Maul. I wouldn't need to. If I turn the sword into a.
Here's another question that I didn't bring up because I got my Holy Avenger in a different way. I technically still have that medal from the ends thing that we never did anything with. Just that they finished purifying.
Yeah.
How much would that sell for at this point? If we're not gonna use it for anything else.
Wow.
Because if we literally have full equipment, I don't know what else we'd use that for. If all of us already have the fully upgraded armor and everything. And I have my artifact armor. And I have the Holy Avenger.
I'd say because I was sure that by giving you this, you would try to create something like a Holy Avenger. So the piece of metal is of legendary quality. So I would be willing to let it go for, let's say, 65,000 gold.
Okay. So we could add that to... Unless there's anything else anyone thinks they could do with it.
No.
Most of my stuff doesn't really use metal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I'm a character who already has his armor taken care of.
Like
and
the
now
cool
has
metal
all it.
thing that I did is the pendants. So
All right, so
Unless you want to give me some added thing I could add to my Holy Avenger by adding that metal to it, but other than that, I'm not going to do anything with it.
no, honestly, there was. So I had a plan at one point. Of you needing to use something, but you figured a way around that limitation. So you find yourself with two things which could help you have a Holy Avenger. So no, the whole point of that metal was to be able to give you a Holy Avenger at the end of the campaign. And you figured out a way to get a Holy Avenger at the end of the campaign anyway. So
But what if I want a second one? No, I'm kidding.
he wants to dual wield Holy Avengers. Yeah.
No. Yeah, dual wield 2 great swords. Unfortunately, I can't do that.
If I could do that, I would just be dual wielding the Sword of Power in the Vorpal Maul.
Yeah. No, then yeah, I think that if we need that to sell for another 65,000, that can be on the docket to help get this stuff done.
All right.
So I think this is pretty much all of our we're pretty much fully upgraded at this point.
Hey, and quite honestly, like I said, because we want to see the end of the campaign before you have to leave, I'm willing to, if you have what it takes, then I'm not gonna wait 2 episodes for you to figure it all out. I will give you a slight push. So because of that, yeah, if you prepare well for every encounter, yeah, you're gonna be in major fights for nearly 10 episodes. So
It's true. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get the shield thing started because I don't need that. Hopefully, to go talk to my rival. I might regret not having my shield to go talk to my rival, but hey, that's something audience willing to risk. And he will get that started.
okay.
So I can have that before. So that was what, 200,000 you said?
4.
Oh no. What was how much was it? It wasn't it. How much was it to get the shield done in 2 days?
Your shield.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
scale.
200,000. That includes the reward that you want to put up to get the
Yeah.
enough
The
shard.
full coverage, yeah. The full
Yeah,
coverage.
yeah, yeah. Full coverage.
The full coverage.
The total bill.
Okay. The total bill. Okay, so if we take 65 off of that, just including the metal, that's 135. And we'll leave it there for now and figure out, I guess you can tell us how much we sold all the stuff for later.
Okay.
And then figure
And then
so we don't take up any more time for it.
And then looking into the possibility of transforming the staff of power into a wand of power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why it can't, for the single reason that it would even lose some abilities.
Because you couldn't attack with it, so you'd lose using charges to make it do extra damage.
Yeah. So I'd say yes, it's doable if you don't mind losing these few abilities. I would say that the +2 to your armor would also disappear because the staff you can parry with it. That's why it has a +2. So that goes away, but the rest would stay.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Then it would only be a question of time to make it because technically you're downgrading elements, which means you're almost paying it by selling the object to the merchant downgrading it, he's gonna have surplus of different things. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So on its own, let's go with 12,000 for the power, the sword of power. Sorry. Divided by times 8. So this can be achieved in 1,920 hours. So just like with audience, if you're willing to pay a grand total of 200,000, this can be ready in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
2 days once the adventurers come back with the shard.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 days after getting the shard. Yeah.
All right. So, now that the entire shopping is done, audience.
Well, technically, more of it's enchanting than
More,
shopping.
yeah, pretty much all enchanting. Yes, audience is going to go find his rival.
Yeah. And she's been waiting there for 5 days now in grand total.
Yeah.
Since you got the
I
message.
am annoyed.
Since you got the
Yeah,
message.
And by that I mean helping my friend get revenge.
Yeah. Listen, technically, she made me wait like 30 days before answering my message, so all is fair.
Mm-hmm. She left me on red, so.
So yeah.
Let's just hope that she sees it the same way. So So you get to this city.
We did have a long rest, right?
Yes, it's
By
been
this
2
point,
days. You've had 2 long rests.
Yeah. Fisher, can I have my helmet back?
I feel like my head's gonna need protection, Fisher.
Yes.
Thanks, man. Alright, let me switch that attunement over to the helmet so I can just teleport there. We'll say I did that.
Oh, wow. Alright, so. You get to the city. And you teleport there via the gate system of the garden. You find yourself in a familiar place, you could say. It's been a while since you've been here, but a hard battle was once fought in those same field. It is the place where you got that little crystal that helps you make open a dimensional storage. Never seen that place in winter before. Just as you're about to turn around and go into the city, try and find her, you hear coming from a good distance, but yelled in such a voice that carries and that makes you feel like someone hates your gut. Audience!
You
Audience will,
suck.
you suck. Audience will look up.
You turn around and on a hill, maybe 100 feet away, you see your nemesis there. She is there. She is looking at you and she is understandably pissed.
Audience will make his way towards her, towards the top. Actually, he'll fly, because that's cooler.
So
And he'll land in front of her.
one thing that I want to know is Remy and Fisher with you.
That's up to them. You would have told them where he was going.
Did Remy and Fisher decide to accompany audience?
You specifically say you wanted to do this on your own?
No, you guys can come.
All right, then I think I would. Yeah, I would be there.
Okay. It's just the
Like,
fighting.
even though it's not much different for audience, but Raimi will be there. You just won't see him. But now most people don't see him either.
Gotta trust him.
I think audience would ask her. He'd be like, "Give us a little space. There are a couple things we need to discuss, but and if she ends up attacking me, let me, I'll duel her. But don't. Besides that, be there.
Yeah.
You are my second, Remy. You are also my second, but you'll do things different.
You're also my second, but you'll do things differently.
Remy, you're my second you are my second when we are on the ocean. Fisher, you are my second when we're on land.
I feel like that'd be the opposite. Fisher, but
Well, just because Remy is captain and Fisher is not.
oh yeah.
All right, so you approach her
Fly
with your
down.
companion. You fly toward her with your
I'll
companion.
tell my companions to just wait. Look, I'll kind of put a hand, and then I'll fly up over
Okay.
to her. Tell them to, It's up to you guys if you listen to me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'll hang back.
You she doesn't let you reach her completely before she talks again. Because you're no longer 100 feet away, you kind of for a brief moment were expecting that she wouldn't shout, but then you realize that she hates your guts. So she's still shouting.
She's also a dragonborn, so it makes sense.
Yeah. She says very seriously, "Audience, you say you have changed. You say you have forsaken your old faith. Words are cheap. Prove it." Audience, you know what she means. She wants
I
you
do.
to prove it through a duel. But here's why she wants to do it. She wants to see you use your magic. Because every time you call for your magic, you call for your god. If you are not honest, she will notice that second of hesitation.
Audience will understand. He'll go, very well. Then brace yourself. And he will start off combat by using his breath weapon. Because he feels like that is an important part of who he is connected, and she
Okay.
should understand that. So,
Okay.
DC 15 dex for her. And I will use... Honestly, audience would just use one of these slots because he's just trying to shoot. Okay. So, that is
Saving throw is 24.
That's yes. I assumed. I assume she would save that. But that damage will still be. I'm level 15 now. D10. So that is. How do my dice go? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and plus the highest level. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
70 cut in half to 35 lightning and radiant damage as a giant beam sweeps from audience and sweeps across her.
okay.
And then he will land in front of her.
All right. When you attack, she doesn't seem to have any weapons on her, but then you notice it. A glove, or rather an armored glove. It reaches nearly all the way to her elbow. She just makes a gesture toward her right, and she seems to grab something. And as her as her finger starts apparently gripping something, a weapon forms from the gauntlet. It's quite impressive. It seems to be made of light, and it just materializes itself completely. A large maul. Fisher, this is when Terranad tells you something. He says, "Oh God, she's one of us." That glove. This is the same as ours. She has an object also.
Is
Well,
she
shit.
from the Mirror Garden?
The Mirror Garden.
Wait, hold on. What's the opposite of a garden?
Sandbox?
A landfill?
A concrete
She's from the
slab.
landfill. The junkyard.
Last time you met her, she kept pace with you, even though she did not have any magical means.
It's true.
But now, she not only seems to have kept with you with this very nimble dodge of your lightning. And I say dodge not because she didn't take any damage, but because the proportional damage to her entire health pool is rather small. So it barely singed, I don't know, the side of her shoulder. From where she is, she strikes in the air, in your direction. I believe lightning is dexterity, so you also make a dexterity save.
Today we're not in a shonen anime where basically everybody can dodge lightning.
That is a 20. That is a 24.
24 is enough to succeed the save, but it's a save, so it's not negating all of the damage.
Well,
At least you're
audience's-
resistant.
Well, audience's wings will actually wield one of audience's abilities. I can use my reaction to negate all the damage from a dex saving throw.
You landed, is that right?
I did land
Okay.
afterwards.
Okay.
But I will
'Cause-
make the dex. I will make the dex saving throw.
No. It's just because I was gonna say the description says that you avoid this by closing the wings. So if you were flying, it would have meant that
Whee!
No, I'd landed like 10 lightning because he's not going to stay in the air during a duel. That's not a duel.
Lightning in the sky.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add the.
I guess that would be cool, but audience didn't think about that. He didn't know if she could fly, so he didn't want to be rude.
Yeah.
That's right. We got to add this. All right. To the lightning that's burst out of this weapon and an added divine smite of the same power, you are slammed by 64 points of radiant and lightning damage. Your wing absorbs it, deflecting it completely. However, a hit like this, even though you've managed to completely deflect it, you are still pushed back maybe a step or two. You're forced to admit that she just almost covered you blow for blow on this one. It's just that she didn't seem to have the ability to fully deflect it.
To fully deflect it. You'll see audience kind of rise. His wings he'd kind of had to actually, had turn her back to her to close his wings to like fully block it almost like a shield. And you'll see him turn back, his wings now crackling with the remaining lightning and radiant energy, and he'll put them away and he'll say, although I was able to block the blow, I could sense its power.
This is only the beginning.
All right. Are we doing what we do in duels where we just roll initiative every round?
Well,
To see who
here's
gets
the
to go
thing.
first?
Is if you want, we can absolutely have the duel. Exactly as a duel, hit each other until one of you can claim pride victory. But she's here to evaluate if you are honest. Meaning
Audience
that
doesn't.
she's not here to kill you
Yeah.
if she thinks you're honest.
Audience is, to him, this is just proving like almost a conversation through combat. So
Yeah.
I could also just role play it if you want, because to him it's not. I mean, we can track the damage numbers if you want, if it's being, but like to him it's just him trying to show her
We can roll
what
play
he's
it.
become.
I do not mind.
Okay. Audience after then would step forward, drawing his Holy Avenger, and he'd strike her twice, again using all of his force, all of his learning over the 1,000 years, his changing, what that's felt for him with another 4th and 3rd level, and that will be go to hit. Actually, I think the first one's gonna miss, so I'll probably only 4th. The second one can be 20. I assume 20 misses, but 28 probably hit.
Yes.
Okay, so we won't use the 3rd then. We'll just use the other 4th. And I will hit for that plus another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 21 plus 21, 40. He will hit for another 42 damage. Strike, as he strikes her with, again, his most powerful divine smite he can manage at this moment.
All right. So the first attack, she sees it coming and she parries it with the shaft of the maul, pushing your weapon out of the way, but you manage to pull yourself back and hit her again with all of the power that you can muster. This second attack singes her, but not something severe. She uses that momentum of her having to try and dodge to pull up the maul and strike in your direction with as much power as she can. And she adds in a word in a language that oddly enough you don't understand, the divine language, but still.
I do not.
The ground around the impact seems to lift with the swing itself, and you see pieces of rock, of dirt, just follow it, and you get slammed by a thunderous explosion. She rolled. The first attack was a 24. The first attack was a 24. 24
I don't have any shields.
Okay, yeah,
I don't have any shields.
So the first attack hits, but the impact hits you at the same time as the second one, because the second one is actually a critical strike.
Ow.
You're meant to go flying with this. And this time she did not use something that uses save. She went with an attack, meaning nothing's going to be able to mitigate this.
Nope.
So, once again...
It's okay. Audience is not trying to use spells. You will not, in fact, see him use a single spell during this. It's not Dragon Portland.
Okay, so that's for the grand total of... no, that's... Sorry, it's a maul. It's not 2d8, it's 2d6.
2d6. I don't know, she can have a buffed maul. I don't know what she's been doing.
You can have a buff maul if I can have a buff maul.
Picture over in the corner. So where'd you get that maul?
Like, wait, hold on. Why is the Darth Maul theme playing in the background, coming from nowhere?
All right.
We can't see Raimi, but Duel of the Fates is somehow playing.
Nice average. Another 64 points of radiant and thunder, and you need to make a strength saving throw.
By the way, this is the real reason why Raimi came, is so that he could get all of this on camera.
Okay, 64. And I will give you my strength saving throw. That is a 26.
26. So you manage to stay up even through all of this raw power, but you are pushed, and not pushed five or six step back. Pushed literally. You see the traces of your feet on the ground as you have been pushed. There is a trail where your feet managed to keep you up, but pushed back 5 feet behind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, where did she gain that type of strength?
Audience will never break eye contact with her, nor will he lose. Takes it. You'll see him kind of cross both his arms across his chest as the maul hits him, and he'll take the full damage, but and shove back, but he won't lose his feet. And then he'll take another step forward swinging again with his holy. Oh, I should have asked. Did she take the? I assume she didn't take the 2d10 radiant. I didn't roll it, but it would be good for audience to know if she did or did not for his own
For being
mental well-being.
evil.
Yeah, that would be quite a twist if she did take the 2d10.
So it's 2d10 if she's evil?
Yeah.
No, she did not take the 2d10.
Okay. I assumed, but I was like, in case she did, because then that would give quite a twist to this.
Well, here's the thing. The first time you met her, she would have. Because she was your opposite.
That's interesting. All right, audience will step in again, swinging twice more. A 34 to hit,
You should reflect on that, audience.
and a 34 to hit, and a 20 to hit.
34, 24. Yeah, both hit.
Right, so use 2 of those. So he will swing more. As he steps in, 1 will come over the top of the hammer. She extends it. 4. Right at the same time. 18, so 30.
Oh, that... Sorry. I did say that the second attack was a critical strike.
Yeah. 28. So 58. And then his second slash will come in as a stab, just kind of pushing her back, and she will take 58 damage from those 2 swings.
Okay. So yeah, the critical strike mean that it's not going to be 64 to the damage you took. To that we have to add. Isn't that nice? All 4s. That's really literally the middle of a D8. 16 and the other one. So there was 35 points missing from the last attack because it was a critical hit. I forgot to roll twice.
I will add that. All right, it is her turn.
All right. Do you seem to be under 50%?
Yes. From the crit, yes.
Okay.
Does she seem to be under 50% after taking that 58?
No, but not by a lot. Sort of, if you had to judge, you're in front of that, you're starting to feel it, the energy, it's still rushing through your body, and you're sort of having this breathing. But if you're comparing her, she's not at the point where she's more at the point where she's so she's not far behind you. You get the impression that she might have been slightly luckier than you on a few rolls, but that's about it, the difference in hit point.
Fair. Now it's her turn.
Now, I will ask you, so far you've been using Divine Smites.
Yes.
And because of everything that's been happening, you've been conjuring the name of your god in your head, because after 1,000 years, you don't need to shout it as you're fighting. I'm not going to ask it because of conjuring, but I'm going to ask, is there any hesitation as you're fighting her?
Of conjuring the divine smites from my god?
Of anything. She is evaluating everything about you.
Hesitation from her, no. Not at the moment. Audience doesn't completely understand her story yet, but he senses that she's not evil and his weapon confirms it. And he's more at this point trying to show everything he can do and everything he is to her now to let her judge for herself. So no, I do not think there would be hesitation.
Okay. Okay.
We do have a history, but the history has been confirmed for him that perhaps both of us at times were in the wrong. And this is very much of where we are now, and while he doesn't understand exactly where she is now, he is kind of watching her as much as she is watching him. Because he senses now she's not evil, but this is very much like, to him it is like, yes, we are beating the shit out of each other, but also us in some ways having a conversation in the Dragonborn language without actually having a conversation.
Okay. You notice also in her eyes that she is evaluating you. She is looking at you. She is understanding you, your conviction. You notice that she looked at the emblem that you have now. There is a mark of respect in the way that she's acting right now. She's not trying to get the upper hand, but also you get the impression that she's holding back something. As if she's trying to push you to your limit. And if you fail, there's something nasty waiting for you. And she's keeping that in reserve.
Okay.
All right, so you said it's her turn.
Yes.
Oh. Well, oh yeah, that's right. She hates your guts, so she rolls. Her paladin oath allows her to place you as being her hated enemy, meaning she hates you so much that she rolls with advantage. So, but it's still a total of 20 for one attack and a total of 28 for the second attack.
The 20 will miss.
The 20 will miss. So your attacks pushed a large quantity of energy into her body, and she seems to take a moment to accept the energy, raise her maul, and strike toward you. The first strike hits the ground, and you feel this energy pushing the ground around it as it's reaching nearly the I don't want to say ground again, but I don't have any other words. The ground itself. And she uses that pushback of energy to just fling them all directly at you, hitting you. Well, let's see how bad it hits you. So, this is for them all. She's gonna go with this. Okay. Ooh. A lot of low numbers, but a few really high numbers. Oh, geez. The strike that comes up exactly like lightning. You barely see it coming. It's another 64 points of radiant and lightning damage as the hit strikes upward and hits you from below.
Damn. On one hit?
Yeah. It's because her maul is the lightning properties are hitting with D12s. So
Gotcha,
I rolled and, get, 1, 2, 10, 12, 11.
Hey, man. This is unfair. My sword only works against evil things for its special stuff. Why did... No, I'm kidding. She got the better dual weapon. Okay. Nah. Alright, audience is still up, but barely.
So you nearly lose your footing because of how much power is being pushed up through this. The lightning is still ringing in your ear as you have to decide. Do you try to give it one more shot with everything you have?
Of course.
Okay.
28 to hit. And 32 to hit.
28, 32, both hits.
That will be... Audience, even as he staggers, will come back up with 2 more strikes. 4. 28. 34. And 29 is 34, 44, 54, 63. 63 points of damage.
You're just blasting each other with 63, 64, 70, 60.
Well, she did 64 in one strike. I took 2.
Yeah. So, that last attack definitely shook her up a little. The slash went inside of her defenses. She could not parry it. It hit her. It hit something, but she's wearing thick armor. So it's difficult to know just how bad the hit is actually. It feels like it went just under the plate, but immediately after, you armed again for another swing. The second one actually hits her right near the edge of the armor, almost hitting the clavicle, but fortunately there's just this little lip of armor right there that prevents your weapon from cleaving inside of her body and going through a lung. The hit is hard, and you see one of her knee nearly buckle from it.
Audience, as he sees her knee buckle, will take out his hand and go to catch her as her knee buckle, and he'll look her dead in her eye, and he'll be like, You've won this duel. I cannot take another hit from you. But I hoped I could show you enough of who I was. Audience is covered in blood. He is at 7 HP. Min damage would even knock him down if he takes anything from her.
Like I said, she was just a little bit luckier on some of her rolls for HP. She has 18. She has 18 hit points left. When you grab her hand and help her up, there's a moment where you recognize that it's sort of the adrenaline of the fight itself, because her gloved hand has the reflex of reaching toward your head, and she stops before touching it. She looks up. You can see there's anger in her face. Her traits are slightly distorted by this visceral hate that she's always felt for you.
Audience will go quietly. He'll be like, "What did I do? Besides who I was, what did I do to make you hate me so? What did the old dragon or the old god do to you to make you hate you so? Was it him? Was it me? Tell me."
Can't you figure it out on your own?
No, I'm dumb.
No.
Have you seen my intelligence score?
Absolutely not.
And then when you think about this, you go, oh, I'm not smart, which means she's my opposite. She's smart. She looks at you. You truly haven't figured it out.
No.
My God has held my hand twice in a fight against you, because it is a God of redemption, of forgiveness, a God that helps to bring darkness back into the light. I am your opposite, audience. My God is the opposite of yours. Your God brings light into darkness. You followed everything I stand against. You
But then
followed
why-
it willingly.
But then why, when I first found you, why did I sense an evil presence? Why did you work with the hunter cult, who, by all things, even an early paladin in early training could sense were an evil organization? Was it truly worth it just to stop me?
Did you already forgot how I was made?
I
They
remember how you
created
were-
me. They
I
pulled
remember
me
how-
out of a mirror. I did not join them. I did not choose them. They literally birthed me as I am from your reflection. My path is the opposite of where you were going. If you would have stayed on your path, you would have ended up where I started.
I'm gonna roll an insight real quick. What is she? She says she brings. I don't think I've ever figured this. What is that's an 18. That's an 18 insight. What is she? What is this? You said she pulled from a mirror, and yes, she's my reflection. But what does that actually mean?
The mirror creates, or rather brings to life, the opposite of what was in front. A good person pulls out a bad person. It is literally what was left. So everything that was bad about you was pulled together and coalesced into something that is literally your polar opposite. But this is where everything fell apart, and it is true. She renounced the hunter god in front of you during that event, she tore out the emblem of the hunter cult, revealing the emblem of her god. Because she started as your opposite, as evil, as someone there to destroy, but this is why it all fell apart. Her god is the opposite of yours. So she was the paladin of a god of forgiveness and redemption from the start. They did not foresee this.
Got you.
This is why they lost control of her completely and she left.
Audience look and say, you might have started as my reflection, but you have certainly become your own person. As have I. Well, I was not perhaps like you, born from a mirror or born from affection. I was born under the whim of another and basically spent my entire life under his control from his plans that he'd set up from thousands of years before. It was only until recently that I was finally able to break free and finally start my own path instead of just being another pawn in his games.
Their game never ends. You have insulted him. My God would never hunt someone, would always try to forgive and to see the best, which means yours will never let go.
No, I know. It is why, well, I doubt that I can fully destroy him. Because he is, even in his evil, a god. I can try and cut him from this world or cut as many ties as I can until he has nothing left but to fall back into his slumber and remain silent. Hopefully for the rest of eternity. I know his avatar lies to the north, and I plan to go there after I've dealt with, well, some matters here, the hunter cult, as well as rescuing a friend. But
Audience. She gets closer to you. She tells you, you have a long journey in front of you. I may not be able to help you where you are going. But if you need help here, my paladins will help you. She turns around and she points toward on the other side of the hill that no one else could see. Well over 500 paladins.
God damn, why is she trying to show me up in every way? No, I'm kidding.
Well, remember, she's the opposite of you. So while you have basically no followers, she has so many followers now.
Hey, man.
She leans in and whispers something in your ear. And I'm gonna leave it to you to say it to your friends if you want to. But this is what she whispers.
Go to the...
Your place or mine?
Not quite. Not quite. Unfortunately, no. Not quite that flirtatious.
Shame.
Uh,
Damn shame.
damn shame. Audience will nod, and I think he will tell her of the call of the plan. So it'll be like, we have set upon the final assault of the Hunter cults. Me and Fisher recently he was able to take revenge and destroy the captain of the Siegebreaker, opening the path to the island where the Avatar is being reborn. We have learned that it should be awakened within the week. We are gathering our forces now for final assault and hopefully to rid this island chain and the world of the Hunter cult for good. Although remnants may remain, with their main force and their avatar broken, they will no longer be able to succeed in their goal. I know that that's where you were born and where you started. Perhaps it's only right that you're there to finish it as well.
If this is the moment where you feel my troops will be better spent, then I will be part of your assault.
I'll give a nod and I'll say, I'll give her the location of where the island is. It'll be like, we're meeting here within, 3 to 4 days time? I think it was 3 to 4 days that we were going to gather. 3 days, probably max. Or it's been a day. No, because it's been so it'd be 2 days now?
So I don't mind giving you the possibility to choose when in those 3 days you want this to have occurred.
Yeah.
To be faithful,
we'll say at the beginning.
At the beginning, all right.
Done.
All right. So essentially, you're deciding to take one more day than what is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had taken 3 days, the element of surprise would have been guaranteed and nearly sure that the avatar would not have been summoned. You're deciding to take a total of 4 days, which means now there is a risk that you lost the element of surprise, and there is a greater chance that the avatar will have been summoned by the time that you're there.
Okay. Well, I think we can do 3 days now, because my sword should be ready in 2. So that's because so we can do 3 days. So I'll tell her 3 days. We're meeting on this island. We should have ships to carry us once we get here to the island. If you're able to get your paladins here, we should be able to bring you the rest of the way in for the...
Okay. She tells you she will be there.
Right. Audience will make it back to his party. He looks very beaten up. And then he will also say, she told me right before she left, I have saved the city below from utter destruction. He will try to destroy a city in your name. Be careful. I think she means that the old god will perhaps use the forces either I have gathered or the forces gathered outside of me to destroy some city. But I don't know which one, but there's not much I can do until after this assault. So hopefully it will not happen in a time where I cannot deal with it. I can only stop.
City below.
The city below where you are right now is one of the major cities of this island chain. So basically, she just told him that she saved Caravel from complete and utter destruction.
The city I'd obviously be most worried, at least here, would be Othel, because that's where my church is. But again, that's not something we can deal with at the moment. We have another god to stop. Can only stop one god at.
Well, so long as it stays into the cusp of avatars, it is possible. Because if you ever find yourself in front of a god,
Yeah.
run.
Yeah. Can only stop one avatar at once.
An avatar is probably the closest thing that a mortal can face from a god. It's in the cusp of demigods and avatar. This is the highest tier of what you can take on.
And then, for sake, I think Audience would spend, while his equipment's getting ready, I think Audience would spend these next couple of days basically going around to gather basically forces from all the friends we've made, like, throughout. Like, he'd probably go talk to, like, he'd probably go find the dwarves. He'd probably go find, he'd probably go find the dwarves. He'd go talk to any other adventurers. Trying to think of any other alliances that we've made
that
throughout the
aren't in the
campaign.
Misty Isles, and
That aren't in the
so,
Misty Isles. Yeah.
yeah,
He might go talk to the monks as well in case they wanted to send anyone, but he wouldn't expect them to. But if they
Well,
want to spend a small group of
yeah.
monks, if they want to be a part of finishing it,
they don't really have a lot of
no.
military.
But
They don't have
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
Tobiyashis.
Yeah, that is actually one thing he'd probably do. He'd probably go find Tobiyashi, and he'd be
They
like,
are
"Hey."
militant, but not a military.
He'd be like, "Do you want to spare some Tobiyashis to be there for this? To return to your island
or just
where
make
you were
a couple.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you want to return to the island where you were wanted and help
Yeah.
finish the fight?"
that's what I'm going to say. Tobiyashi does have a strong incentive to go to the island and hunt down those who tortured him, but you don't. Meaning that if you decide to bring Tobiyashis and you just let them go on their own, you don't have to go through the fights that he will. Because he's got a reason to, but you don't.
But that is what I was. So, Audience would spend the next couple days basically going and gathering all the allies that we've made, any other adventurers. But
For a lot of them, it's a bit short noticed. They can spare groups of people, but army themselves take time to gather. So, the dwarves, for example, the monk at the monasteries, the Tobiyashis, they would tell you that they will send what they can, but they really would have wished that you've given them, I don't know, something like a week's warning so that they could actually gather some strength.
Audience would just be like, God's wait for no mortal," and then he'd be like, "But any help will be appreciated."
All right. Well, in that case, you will add maybe a dozen Tobiyashis to your group. 8 priests, 2 groups of 4.
For for some reason on the morning of our departure, like Raimi has the distinct smell of citrus.
I mean, come on. This is the only time in a life that you can actually do a orgy with your husband and just your husband. There is no way to look at this that means cheating. It's just
Except just cheating the rules.
Yeah.
you amass a good number of people. Of course, the bulk of this army is made of the paladin of your nemesis, because her army moves with her, so they were ready. The others, while they do promise that if you ever need more, they will try and gather more. So if in a future fight you need troops, you can call upon them. But for now, they're giving a smaller portion of what they can actually muster. So you have monks, you have Tobiyashis, you have priests, and you have paladins. Do you reach out to Antasia to see if she has anything she can contribute to this?
I think he would reach out, but he also wouldn't necessarily be like, you have to come fight, but he'd be like, hey, we're going to go do this. If you have any information, since I know you do care a little bit about this, like, anything would be useful. Any divine intonation. She is perhaps where the avatar is located.
Yeah, you know where the avatar is located. There, she closes she closes her eyes, and you're not sure if she's mocking you or not, but she goes, I see a temple in the middle of the nature, and there is a ritual there.
Alright, guys, we know it's not on the shore. We don't have to switch to the outskirts.
The temple is slightly damaged. She takes a pause, and it feels like she's a bit more serious on this one, on the next part. Evil awaits you, audience. The worst kind of a twisted soul. Your instinct might be to try and help it. But if you try and pour your life into this, a god can pour so much more into yours.
Audience will not and will go. I will do what I must.
Maybe you should try and reach out to Sarn specifically. I get the feeling that even if you dismiss the body of the beast, you'll need someone to trap it again.
Okay. I will do so.
Watch your back. There's a darkness about this moment that I can't see through. I don't know why.
Audience will nod. He will call Sarnax before.
Takes a few moments, but Sarn answers. Yes?
Sarn, I know this is short notice, but the final assault on the Hunter cult is going to be, I'd say, at this point it's probably later. It's probably like only like a day away. Will be happening within a day. I know the rest of your party is out doing important things, but it's been brought to my attention that even if we are able to smite the body, we may have no one skilled or with the skills among our group who can actually completely return or diminish the soul. Antasia suggested that I contact you, that you might either know a way or be able to help.
Oh, that is, if I understand what you're trying to ask of me, you're asking for quite a ritual. It's my understanding that the god was once a normal god of nature. But his soul got twisted over time because it was imprisoned for far too long for any mind to stay sane. Audience, you do realize that you're asking me to seal away this soul once again.
I fear what it will bring to this world, Sarn. I feel no more joy than you in sealing a soul completely away, even if it has been corrupted. But you felt the changing. Sure, Jorg's told me how nature's screaming out about the end of the world, and I'm feared that if this soul is fully released in its full form, it will bring about this future. We will have no more way to stop it.
Well, the string of your life is different than that of ours. So, you are definitely destined for something different. Not as obvious. So, I will do as you ask. I will prepare for this.
Alright. I'll let him know of the location and the information we've given about the temple, and I'll say, the assault starts within a day. I realize that you might be too busy on the ritual to be able to help, but please contact us when the ritual is ready, and we'll be hopefully able to create enough weakness in their forces and in the body of the Avatar to allow you to perform.
Yes. I will be there to leave. I probably won't be able to help through the assault because of everything that needs to be prepared once I'm on the island. And it would probably be best if not a lot of people are left on the island when I do what needs to be done. But I will be there.
Right.
Just make sure that if it is able to regenerate, it does not until I get there. I feel this is your fight somehow, and it would not be wise for me to interfere.
I understand. We will do what needs to be done to create the opening for you.
I will be there. Audience, I know your new faith has brought you a new perspective. And what you ask of me might give you trouble in the future to live with. But maybe this is why you asked me. I do not work for good or evil. I work for the balance. I work for nature. Don't worry. Sometime the best choice is not the one that is the easiest to live with. Now go to
I
bed.
understand.
The reason why he said all this, and you probably realize this, is that you're condemning a soul, even a soul as powerful as that of a god, into a prison in which he went in a force of neutrality of nature and came out so insane that he was evil.
Yeah.
And you're asking him to put the creature back into the same cage.
Yeah. If there was a way to save him, audience would, but I don't think there is.
All right. With your troop marshaled, with as much help as you could gather before you have to leave, there is a sense of tension, of anxiety as everything prepares. The first time that you all went into a campaign against them, it was hard. Some people actually found themselves injured, captured. One person of the garden died because of you. And so there is an element of anxiety, of uneasiness as this is approaching, but everyone is much stronger and feels more comfortable. Ships are ready. You are, and this is probably one of the weirdest moments. No, not necessarily weirdest. You've seen some pretty weird things, but it's probably one of the most impressive moments of your life. A siege breaker comes in to pick you up. Usually people have a cart decorated with exotic color and jewelry on it. You have the ship the size of a village that that lands near the portal that you ask it to land to, and it's there to pick you up. The ship is large. There is enough place to put everyone that you've hired for this. You find yourself in front of an army that is around 700 strong. You're hoping that it's enough to take on the bulk of their army. You know that you're looking for a broken down temple. So with a bit of luck, you might actually be able to drop close to where you need to be. And with everything you've marshaled, you might not necessarily have to worry about being interrupted. But then again, who knows how much this place is protected. All of the members of the garden who said they would be there are there. You recognize a lot of the people that helped you at the monastery. Unfortunately, Zeal still hasn't reappeared. Teleported out on a red orb. Hopefully he'll be back before the end of the Shenshu. But you have an army. A grand total of 24 ships lift off. With a huge siege breaker as the spearhead of your army. Is there anything you'd like to do? One last thing that you'd like to do be as preparation before leaving? I don't know, maybe you want to try and buy more healing potions or...
I did. I removed the gold. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bought some more healing potions. The gold.
Okay.
I have full gems right now. I have 1 gem of every kind already, so.
Okay.
I mean, it'll somewhat depend on, because a lot of gold has been like promised and moved around. So, but I'll buy X amount once we've given all the gold necessary for all of the transformations we were hoping to do.
Yeah.
I'll put a number behind the goal, behind the objects that you're selling, and I'll tell you exactly how much money it gives you more.
Okay.
We've got a fish that said something in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I guess it's an emote from somewhere.
Yeah. And it's the first time that this person has left a message. So maybe he's inviting you all to sushi. I don't know.
Oh, I actually do know. At least I think I know what it means. Maybe, but I don't actually know.
All right. Well, as long as it is a good intentioned person, we only take good
fine.
and neutral people here. We don't accept evil people.
All right.
Okay.
You guys ready to fight an avatar next week? No.
Yeah.
We'll see. Depending on how you handle this, you could end next episode in the middle of a fight with an avatar, or end the episode with your initiative rolled for the fight with the avatar. When you bring so many allies with you, there is a portion of things that I will need to reevaluate, because you won't have much to worry about in terms of enemy armies. 500 paladins will burn through most armies on their own. Then on top of that, you have adventurers from the garden. You have priests that wants to honor the fight that you have. So, yeah, you might have a few fights out of this, but I think that the most dangerous thing for you outside of the fight for this is getting lost on the island.
That's why we have Terry.
Oh, by the way, Fisher, Terry has learned for the for his 8th level spell, because sorcerers don't have a whole lot of nice 8th level spells. But in his, for him, it makes sense. He learned demiplane. He learned to make box.
Yeah.
Now he can make as many boxes.
I guess I didn't
as
have-
he wants. Yeah.
I guess I didn't have a chance to mention. It's like, but with my level up, I now have 4 saving throw proficiencies.
Not bad.
Oh,
The only
no.
the only ones I'm bad at are strength and charisma.
Interesting.
I'm also really bad at charisma saving throws.
Yeah.
I only have a plus 16 to them.
Yes, the paladin definitely also bad at strength and charisma.
Yeah. Strength kicks charisma. It's your weakness, absolutely.
No, it's int is my weakness. And
Well, fortunately,
Yep.
you're not going up against a mage this time. You're going up against an avatar. So
last time we saw he was pretty much a rogue build. I don't know if he'll be different this time.
he's built like a monster. But as you can imagine, the first time you fought him, he had legendary resistance and actions. So he is meant to be very powerful.
Yeah.
You know that he kept growing in power. The only thing you are not sure of is, did he complete his re-empowerment? If he did, then the next step, according to your research, is he's going to try and use his own body to force his godly body to be reincarnated in your world.
Yep.
If that happens, then, to quote a very famous NPC, you are not prepared.
It's okay. That's when audience pulls the paladin sacrifice play and goes to reincarnate the sun god in this world to Matt.
And then two gods starts fighting it out in the world, and it ends with the world ending anyway.
The sun spawns in the world, and everything is immediately burned.
So the prophecy.
Actually, what happens then is we use Call of the Celestial Dragon, and we hope that helps.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe not use all of your best card. There's still another 11 episode left.
I know.
All right. Well, so with this, it is the end of today's episode. You are prepared, equipped, and magically hydrated with potions.
Yep.
Ready to take on one of the most, if not the most challenging thing players can tackle. An avatar. So, let's play the customary campfire. So, with this, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for listening. Hope you had a pleasant, whatever party it is, wherever you are in the world. Hope you found what you were looking for. If you want to help us, we got Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, a link below for donations. Only donate if you can afford it. And can simply spread the word of the channel. we've had more people watching in the past few weeks, so but not a lot of followers, so I guess it's probably the spreading the word of the channel. But it is very much appreciated, and keep doing it. Like I said, see you next week. Wednesdays for the live, Friday for the rebroadcast, both 7:30. It's just that the live is Western Coast time and the rebroadcast Eastern Coast time. And in between, map making with me, 9:30 Eastern Coast time, because that's where I live. And that's it. That's everything I can say. Anything you'd like to say before I close the stream? Interesting.
Pudding.
Valid? Valid? What type?
42.
Rice.
Oh. Original answer. Alright, so thank you for being here tonight. See you again next week. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Right.